So, funny story. Last night it really did feel like I would go yet another week without watching The Masked Singer, right? Because once again they decided to show a baseball game. And I am starting to become livid, and I'm with my mom and my dad too. So we're watching this, and maybe this is just a mistake, because the game was already almost over, right? So 8:45 rolls around, and The Masked Singer did eventually, it was on. So I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to love the reference I'm about to make. Fox, just when I think you couldn't possibly do anything stupider, you then show the episode of The Masked Singer that we were supposed to see last week, and you totally redeem yourself. Okay, so before I get into The Masked Singer last night, let's talk about. Actually, you can just pretty much, I can already tell you my low was the fact that we had to wait longer to watch The Masked Singer than we were supposed to, but better late than never. My high is I was treated to a nice dinner last night with my family, and we watched The Masked Singer together. And my act of kindness was I helped set up and clear the table for dinner. As well as, actually, I did that. I helped bring the garbage cans in, because yesterday was garbage day. And my mom was doing some work in the backyard, putting away some patio furniture in their back shed. So I helped them do that. I mean, let's be real, my mom she can do some of that stuff, but some of that stuff is a bit on the heavy side, so that's why I helped her. So there you go. Now, happy Thursday, everyone. Now, before I get into last night's episode of The Masked Singer, I have an NFL pick to make, and it's between the Cardinals and the Saints. You know what? The Cardinals are at home, and I have no clue who the quarterback is, but I trust Kyler Murray a lot more. So I'm picking the Cardinals over the Saints. Now, let's get into the main event. Actually, hold on a second. I have my notes right here. Okay, so last week they were supposed to show this episode of The Masked Singer, but they didn't because they were showing the baseball game. Now, the theme for this episode, well, actually get into the circumstances of this particular episode, because it was 3 new contestants. It was the maize, which is essentially a giant ear of corn, because corn was originally considered maize back in the day. The mermaid, and Robo Girl. Now, the theme for this particular episode was Andrew Lloyd Webber night. Now, I touched a little bit about Andrew Lloyd Webber before, last week. But for those who don't know, Andrew Lloyd Webber is one of the greatest songwriters probably of all time. Literally, think of a great Broadway song or show, and chances are he had his hand in the music for it. So needless to say, when Andrew Lloyd Webber was a guest judge, you knew this episode was going to be good. You got literally the king, the Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. You bow to the man, okay? There's some controversies around it, but I'm not going to talk about that because I want to talk about his music, because he has written some of the greatest and most iconic music ever. In fact, literally so as you can imagine, every song that was sung last night was a song written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. And it started with The Maze, whose song was Heaven on Their Minds from Jesus Christ Superstar. Now, funny story, I actually have seen Jesus Christ Superstar, but I was in no mood to go watch it, so I really couldn't tell you I have an idea as to what happens. I mean, look, the play is Jesus Christ Superstar. If you know anything about Jesus Christ, you know how that story ends. I mean, personally, I was in Godspell in high school, and I can tell you that Godspell was better. But that's beside the point. Now, The Mermaid did Any Dream Will Do from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which, I'm not going to lie. Oh, I'll get into what I was about to say in a second. And finally, RoboGirl did Bad Cinderella from Andrew Lloyd Webber's rendition of Cinderella. Literally all three performers were phenomenal. They were absolutely phenomenal. And needless to say, Andrew Lloyd Webber was more than proud to have these people sing his music. They did it justice. They legit did. He was pretty much, he didn't actually say those words, but come on, it was implied. It was totally implied. I mean, he, like, when May, for spoiler alert, Maze got eliminated first. And Andrew Lloyd Webber says, I don't know who you are, but I want to work with you at some point. You do not get better praise than this. Like, you don't. It's Andrew Lloyd flippin' Webber. I mean, how would you, like, seriously, if I was able to get a job with him, like, oh man, like, that would be the highlight of my life. For sure, that'd be the highlight of my life. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone who got eliminated last night, but still got their praise from Andrew Lloyd Webber, like, that is a highlight of their lives, for sure. But let's get into the Maze who got eliminated first, and it turned out it was Mario Cantone. Now, I actually know a little bit of who Mario Cantone is. See, if you don't know who he is, he was the gay guy on Sex and the City. And he's also gay in real life. Actually, I didn't learn about the fact he was on Sex and the City until I actually watched Dave Chappelle on the Chappelle Show, because he literally says, if you don't know who Mario Cantone is, he's the gay guy he plays the gay guy on Sex and the City. He also plays the gay guy in real life. I mean, come on, man, it's Dave Chappelle. Why would I not watch that? So, needless to say, Mario Cantone, I mean, I knew he could sing at least, but not to this degree. Although, if we're being honest, because of the clues and what was going on, me personally, I thought the Maze was Neil Patrick Harris. I really thought it was, because one of the clues was, he was an MC, and he's been the host of the Oscars. I believe he was also the host of the Tonys, and he's hosted, like, a lot of different things. So, like, that was, and yes, for those who want, Neil Patrick Harris can sing, okay? So, I had every right to believe it was Neil Patrick Harris, all right? But no, Mario Cantone, wonderful. He was great. No problems there. Would not say anything bad about his performance. He was great. But then we got to the battle rounds. Now, here's the thing. My parents, particularly my father, like, he's heard his fair share of music over the years. So naturally, he knew every song that was being sung in this episode. But when they got to the battle rounds, the Battle Royale, the song was Don't Cry For Me Argentina from Evita, which again was, Andrew Lloyd Webber had his hand in. And my father's like, man, he wrote this song too? Andrew Lloyd Webber, man. Andrew Lloyd Webber. And both renditions of Don't Cry For Me Argentina were absolutely beautiful, and Andrew Lloyd Webber said that himself. But the way that Mermaid did it, it sounded deep, voluptuous, warm, like yeah, okay, like whoever the mermaid was clearly like a legend in her own right. But Robo Girl actually sang the song closer to how Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote it in terms of pitch, tune, and melody. So really either one was gonna win. And seriously, the opposite of what wound up happening could have happened. I'd be okay with it. I would totally be okay with it. But even though I'm sad that the mermaid lost, for reasons that I'm about to go into, I'm really glad it turned out the way it did. Because obviously Robo Girl wins, so she gets to move on. But then, actually, before I get into that, Robo Girl has some spunk to her. I like her. Like, she's doing like dance moves. Like, she's got legit swagger. I like that. I like that very much. I mean, at this point, I would still say the harp is clearly the person to beat this season. But I would not be surprised if Robo Girl is the one to take her on in the finale. Because I'm sure there's going to be a battle royale in the finale. There'd have to be. Why wouldn't there be? So that's just my 2 cents on that. But now we get into who the mermaid was. Now, this is actually a person that has been guest a lot on The Masked Singer for a long time. So when it turns out that the mermaid was none other than Gloria Gaynor, because I'm like, Dad, who do you think it is? He's like, I think it just might be Gloria Gaynor. It was Gloria Gaynor. And normally when Nick Cannon says, and now please welcome one final performance from the artist formerly known as so-and-so. He did that here, and normally when they do that, the song is what they were singing in the episode. No, not Gloria Gaynor. Not here. If you know anything about Gloria Gaynor, then you know what song she's most known for. And I was wondering if she was actually going to sing this song last night. Because let's just say, at first I was afraid. I was petrified. She sang I Will Survive. Oh my God. Like, okay, I must have heard this song a lot. I mean, it's in the Library of Congress. That's how famous the song is. And, I mean, even now, considering, Gloria Gaynor's got to be like, at least in her 60s, she's still got it. Oh, good Lord, she's still got it. Like, I was wondering, because normally when singers of her caliber get older, their voice tends to get a little on the deep side, so they can't really hit those high notes like they used to. But Gloria Gaynor still got it. Holy cow, she still got it. I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, you can look up the original I Will Survive video on YouTube. Of course it's gonna be there. But to actually see her at the age that she is now, and she's still able to do that, the term God-given talent is tossed around a lot, but it applies to Gloria Gaynor. In fact, honestly, I'm sad that she didn't win it overall, but hey, that just proves how great the Robo Girl was. And for Robo Girl to beat Gloria Gaynor, I get the feeling Robo Girl just might be the dark horse this season. I really think it's going to come down to her in the heart. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah. Sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm still a little bummed we had to wait longer than a week to finally be able to see it. Because remember, the episode didn't start airing until like 8:45. Normally, yeah, so it was more than a week when we had to watch it. But it was worth the wait. This episode was very much worth the wait. And I mean, I didn't really have a problem avoiding spoilers of any kind, because I'm pretty sure anyone who actually did see it the week before, like up in Canada, like they were kind enough to not just share it with everyone. Plus, here's the thing. I didn't actively, when it comes to spoilers or anything, I don't actively seek them out. So I guess avoiding spoilers really wasn't a problem for me. But man, this episode was everything. Like, for those of you who might have been upset due to the fact that, you know, you had to wait another week until The Masked Singer aired, like, your patience was rewarded. Your patience was very much rewarded. Now, before I sign off, I gotta point out that next week, the theme is gonna be Muppets Night. So, how long do you think it'll be until we get to hear Rainbow Connection in that episode? I think we're gonna hear the battleground, but that's just me. So like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on the social media platforms, turn on those notifications on YouTube. I am humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy today. And hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend you. I'll always be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.